This is absolutely outrageous. And I can't believe that it's happening again. It happened back in October of last year, and I made a video about it then, but it's starting to take place again, and it has been doing it in the last 24 hours. This is one of the most devious and deceptive things in all of crypto, and I hate to see it. So in this video, I'm going to explain something that you really need to know about, because it's going to help you understand exactly what is going on with this Bitcoin ETF and what you need to know right now. So hit that like button. Let's get into it. Now guys, if you've been around the last few days or the last few weeks, you're probably aware we're talking about this Bitcoin ETF, which we're all very excited about. Everyone's very bullish on, and that's seeing the price rise towards the upside with anticipation of a launch coming before the 10th of January or sometime this week, perhaps. Lo and behold, today we see this absolute crash towards the downside that took place in just the space of a few hours, approximately 11%. For Bitcoin, which, mark my words, is a pretty big move for the #1 cryptocurrency. And many people are like, hold on, this ETF must have been rejected. At least that was my first thought. So obviously, like any other good crypto researcher, I went to my free Telegram link down below to see if anyone had any news. No one was really that sure. After that group, I then come across to Google and see this. SEC will reject all Bitcoin spot ETFs in January, says a Matrix Port analyst. I then go down the list and I read time and time again, this Matrix Port analyst keeps popping up. Matrix Port say the SEC, Matrix Port, and I'm like, first of all, who the fuck is Matrix Port? Maybe I should probably know, but I don't, okay? And then I'm kind of diving into some of these stories to like see what's going on. So let's just click on one at random, shall we? And I come down through and I realize this. We got one analyst from a company that I've not heard of telling everyone that this ETF is not going to get approved. So obviously, because the market's already a bit overhyped perhaps right now, everyone's kind of like thinking, yeah, it's going to go up. And then suddenly you get this like panic sell-off. This rumor suddenly makes everyone go, maybe I don't want to be in this because maybe it's not going to get approved. Which is a bit weird, isn't it? So why on earth would this kind of like company, Matrix Port, suddenly get spammed across the entire crypto space by every crypto news channel that pretty much exists? Can't these guys think of their own story? And it's all basically a completely identical story. This therefore left me a little bit concerned because I'd seen something a little bit like this happen before. And I made this video on the 8th of October with the rather scary looking Vitalik Buterin, if he's ever looked scary before, where I uncovered something a bit devious and dark that had happened. Around that time, we saw something very interesting going on. We saw Spot on Chain posting this. Vitalik Buterin deposits 400 ETH. This is the 8th of October, by the way, before everyone goes and shits their pants. Okay, remain calm. Vitalik Buterin deposits 400 Ethereum to the Coinbase exchange at this price, okay? Now, why would that be really bearish? Basically, if the founder of Ethereum sending all his tokens to an exchange means he's likely to sell it. Originally came from this like spot on chain thing here, and basically over multiple times they were kept posting different stories. Remember, 8th of October 2023, everyone is starting to post that Vitalik is sending money back to a Coinbase exchange, and that was Ethereum, wasn't it? Now let's go and have a little dive in and check out that date that we've just mentioned there. You'll notice that this blue line comes at a very interesting point in Ethereum's journey. Literally before Ethereum rallies all the way up here, around 60%, currently having a little pullback today. Okay, so to look at this, this is the 8th of October. Look at what happens to the Ethereum price around here as all of that bearish news kind of comes in and arrives in the market about Vitalik selling his ETH back to exchanges. We get what? We get the Ethereum price selling off 7% or so. Interesting. Notice that that happens at the bottom of this kind of like dip through here in this, guess what? Like accumulation pattern. And now, in the past, I've told you a lot about a Wyckoff accumulation pattern. Richard Wyckoff, who was a banker in the 1920s on Wall Street, identified that Wall Street played some pretty shady games and used these repeat patterns to shake people out the markets at bottoms and put them into the markets at tops. Notice, final shove towards the downside was basically caused by this, which was caused by all of those news articles and information telling us that Ethereum was getting sold off by the founder of Ethereum, which caused it to dump towards the downside. And then today, we go back to the Bitcoin chart, we have imminent we have imminent news about an ETF, exchange traded fund, everyone's super excited about and bullish on, and lo and behold, off a rumor from a bloke you've never heard of from a company that doesn't really mean anything, happens to have a massive impact on the markets. Now, this isn't the result of everyone selling because of the panic. This is what they want you to think. This is basically a manipulated move, in my opinion, of course. I'm not an expert, but this is a choreographed, is that the right word? Choreographed move? Choreograph is like with dancing or stuff. Anyway, let's just call it choreographed. Okay, so you sell it, and then I'm gonna, launch the news article at the same time so that everyone thinks that this news article is what crashes it, when really the news article is absolute bullshit. It doesn't actually mean anything. We're selling it to make everyone think that it's going to go lower because of this article, and everyone panic sells, which then causes what? Everyone to panic sell into this space down here, which if you watched my video yesterday, you would have had your buy zone set up here, and it couldn't have gone more perfectly, where I was telling you that this buy zone might be a good point to buy Bitcoin. And you can see it bounces in here, and all of a sudden, it wicks back up into here. So what does this tell us? It means that the buyers are still very, very strong here, and the sellers weren't really quite enough. Okay, they weren't really able to shake us out. This just leaves Bitcoin still remaining in this range. And what we've just seen is basically complete bullshit and manipulation. All because people want to shake you out of the market in order to be able to buy more. Okay, so simply what is happening, if I want to buy a lot of Bitcoin in here, because I'm a big bank or whatever, the problem is my price will move up. And actually, you can go and do this yourself. If you go to an exchange and you pick a really small cap coin, you try and buy like $500 or $1,000 in one shot, it will bounce the price up. If you try and sell it, it will drop the price down very quickly. This is the same with Bitcoin if you're talking about billions of dollars in trading volume. Therefore, what they do is they create an environment that looks scary to the average retail investor to encourage the retail investor to panic sell out of it. Why would they do that? Well, because they can then start to buy every time they're selling. So if someone's selling while someone's buying, it means the price can remain static in this point without continuing too high. Remember, this is all games. You must remain calm when we're seeing all this news and information flooding in, and understand really what is trying to go on here. Banks and institutions, no one really wants you to make money in crypto. You have to lose money in crypto for someone else to win. Someone else needs you to lose for them to make money. Okay? Because they need to be able to buy it from you cheap and sell it to you at an expensive price. Therefore, they will do their best to play and manipulate their perfect trading opportunity. I showed you yesterday JP Morgan's stats. They've made like $15 billion every quarter last year, and many of the other banks do very similar figures, maybe even more than that, and they will continue to do that. We can see this nice bounce going on here. Now, will Bitcoin go lower than this right now? Who knows, guys? Okay. And people are like, well, imagine if the actual ETF is rejected. Imagine the hit of that. Or imagine the ETF is approved. Realistically, all that kind of news and smoke screen across the top of it all doesn't really mean anything. Ultimately, the manipulation is going on behind the scenes, behind the people who want to drive you into the markets and out the markets, and the news over the top's just to try and cover it up so that you don't feel like you're just getting manipulated and smashed. Because if it wasn't for the news, you would probably be feeling manipulated and smashed. Particularly if you were in a long trade here and you had a stop loss under here, and then suddenly it's come down, stopped you out, and now it's back up here. Probably hurt. And I know a lot of people would have felt that. If you're just like holding on spot and you still like you panic sold or something like that, then maybe this is a time to learn not to make emotional reactions and just react on the plan you had in place. That's why we paint this box green, because we know that this is a buy zone. If you want a sell zone, a red one, that's probably better to sell up there, isn't it? But you didn't sell up there, so don't sell down here. Simply buy low, sell high. That is the lesson for today. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, now this is speculative. I'm just assuming a lot of information here, but I think I'm not far from the truth. We've seen it happen time and time again. And if you get shaken out like this, then you're going to get into a world of issues higher up in the markets. Okay, remember, we're still early. We've still got the bull market ahead of us. Who knows when it's going to be? If this ETF gets approved or not, it's going to come at some point. And the whole narrative is going to come at some point. We're on the way up. Things are looking good. If we get a pullback, great. We've got some cash on the side to get into those markets. And if you want to get into those markets, then there's a few better places to trade than over on MEXC, because it's got over 4,000 different crypto coins, and it has 0.1% spot maker take fees and 0.01% futures fees. This is incredibly low compared to the likes of Coinbase, where it can cost you like 10% to make a trade. Absolutely ridiculous levels of pricing. Use MEXC, guys. So simple. So much easier to use, so much cheaper with loads of other functions and things like that. And if you're in the US or somewhere like that, you might have trouble accessing it. All you need to do is get yourself a NordVPN, also linked down below. MEXC bonus link down below, but also the NordVPN. You get 4 months extra free if you click that link down below in the description. After that, it's like $2.50 per month. And then you can use any exchange you want. It's also going to protect you. You notice mine says unprotected right now because it's not connected, but it's going to protect you when you're participating in trades and using your different wallets, etc. It's going to make sure that no one can spy on you, steal your seed phrases, etc., and ultimately steal your crypto. If you are trading crypto in any volume at all, you need a minimum of a VPN to protect you, and NordVPN is the #1 VPN in the world, and you can get it for $2.50 after getting 4 months for free. No brainer. Okay, link down below, guys. You won't find it as cheap as that anywhere else. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Hit the like button, subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye bye.